Hi everyone, my name is Sankey and Merry Christmas. I haven't posted anything to YouTube for a while. I've just been super busy, but glad to have some time now over the Christmas period to post another tutorial. And today I'm going to be talking about the use of the blow 3, the blow 3 note, particularly in cross position. So as you probably know or have found out, especially if you're an intermediate or a beginner, that your blow 3 is the same note as your draw 2 on a standard tuned diatonic harmonica. So if you're in cross position on a C harmonica, your draw 2 is a G and so is your blow 3. Now this has some useful consequences which I want to talk about a little bit today and give you some licks and ideas for how you can sort of explore using that blow 3 and do some cool things with it. So a couple of reasons why it's a useful thing. The first thing is the way that you transition onto notes on all instruments give them their character. So if we think about the guitar across the fretboard, there are lots of places you can hit the same note. You can hit G in lots of places, you can hit E in lots of places, and so on. Even in the same octave. So what this is about is the way that you hit those notes gives them a different tone or a different quality depending on how you're hitting that note or the string that you were on before. And it's exactly the same principle with this draw 2 blow 3 idea. So transitioning from the draw 2 onto the blow 2 has a different quality from transitioning from the blow 3 to the blow 2. It's the same notes, but they're hit in a different way. So instead of going, you're going. So because you're coming at a different direction, so you're going blow, blow, and moving from I play upside down, but it will be from your right to the left. Instead of doing that, as versus going draw 2, blow 2, you get a different quality, and it changes the way that you play some licks. That's the first reason. Second reason is that the blow note has a different sound and a different quality to it in a way, which we can look at. And third is, sometimes it's just a good way of letting out air. So what I'll do, I'll go through and break down some examples of some licks, and the whole idea of this is to give you some ideas to explore. So starting with the kind of blow 3 itself and the sound. So a nice thing, I think, which shows you the different qualities that you can get is the use of the blow 3 when you're using a wah-wah effect, right? So if you do a draw 2, doesn't matter if it's lip pursed or tongue blocked, however you play, and you do a wah-wah, okay? Now try doing the same thing, but using the blow 3, okay? There's a different, same note, but it has a different feel to it, and this is what I'm talking about. So that's one immediate area where sometimes it's cool, not better, just different, to use the blow 3 in certain situations, right? If you want a kind of wah-wah effect, right? So another way of sort of creating a different emphasis on a lick, if we take a standard blues lick, which would be, say, the draw 4, half step bend, draw 3, draw 2 twice, this lick. Okay? So instead of doing the second draw 2, okay, is to land on the draw 2 and then punctuate with the blow 3, like this. Okay, instead of, just gives it a kind of different feel, as well as letting out the air, if that might be relevant or helpful to you at the time. And that could be a cool way of going into that more kind of exaggerated wah-wah sound, for example. So play around with that. I also think this is a good way of just experimenting with the sound between lip pursing and tongue blocking. Just try hitting that note, lip pursed and tongue blocked, and see what you think is the difference and what works for you. Another good example of how to use this blow 3 is which creates a kind of different pattern of the same notes, is this lick here. So what I'm doing there is I'm going draw 1, blow 2, blow 3, so I'm not going to the draw 2, which would be the same note. So I'm going draw 1, blow 2, blow 3, draw 3, half step bend onto the draw 2. Instead of what you'd normally play would be the draw 1, the blow 2, the draw 2, draw 3, draw 2. Right? So okay. Now the fact that you're going blow 2, blow 3 gives it a different quality to going blow 2, draw 2. Okay? And this is something you can leverage in certain situations for riffs or when you're playing, you know, certain licks, right? So building off that, another sort of cool way of using that is this lick. So what I'm doing there is I'm doing draw 3, half step bend, the blue note, onto the draw 2. Then I'm doing a rolling bend, so I'm bending the pitch down on that draw 2 onto the draw 1. And then I'm changing sides because I tongue block all of that. I change sides and I block from the other side and I zip up to the blow 3. And then I snap down onto the draw 2. And then back onto the draw 3. Half step bend onto the draw 2, and that is the same notes that you could use using the draw 2, but it has a different feel, right, in that transition of rather than going draw 1 onto the draw 2 is to go draw 1 and then tongue block blowing onto the blow 3. It just gives it a different feel snapping onto the blow 2. So that's probably sort of too complicated way of explaining it, but the key transition is that one. That has a different feel than going instead of breathing draw 2, blow 2, okay? So once again, the sound is draw 3, half step bend, draw 2, roll it, draw bend, onto the draw 1. Now if you're lip pursing at that point on that draw 1, you then flick the tongue out onto that to create a seal for the blow 3, swipe across to the blow 2, back onto the draw 3, half step bend, and onto the draw 2, right? It's a really nice lick. So it just gives it a different feel. So, you know, using the same notes but hitting them in a different way. Another sort of cool lick building on that idea is this one. It's a nice way of ending a phrase. And again, it's flicking on from that blow 3 to the draw 2, up to the draw 4, onto the draw 3, bending it a little bit, and then sort of sliding onto that draw 2. And it gives it a different quality, as I say, going from that draw 2 onto the blow 2, and then onto the draw 4, draw 3. So that lick playing that way would be. So draw 2, blow 2. But if you use the blow 3 as a starting point, it gives it a different feel. Alright? So those are just some examples of some licks where you can substitute the blow 3 for the draw 2, and the way that you transition either onto the blow 2 or either onto that draw 3, so going, you know, directly backwards from that blow note, you get these different effects. Another example would be this. So instead of going, so draw 3 onto the draw 2, draw 3 half step bend onto the 2. The way that you could substitute the blow 3 for the draw 2 is to end on that blow, the blow 3 instead of the draw 2. So, okay, and then you have a different transition onto that blow 2, right? So you got that. Okay, instead of. That would be the standard way of doing it. Draw 3, no bend, draw 2, draw 3, half step bend, draw 2, blow 2. Okay? What we're doing here is a kind of variation, is draw 3, draw 2, draw 3, half step bend, blow 3, blow 2. And it just gives it a subtly different feel, and it opens up different movements and different patterns. That's really the essence of what this is about. And it's a very cool thing to do, in particular if you tongue block. You could just get different transitions and start to see the bottom end of the harmonica in a different way, actually. And if you can tongue block, you can get those blow notes really big and fat, and get that kind of swishing sound. And a different kind of quality. So when you mix that up in the low end, it can give you some different possibilities and can help you break a lot of the traditional patterns that you might find yourself locked in when playing licks in the bottom half of the harmonica, right? So. Okay, so anyway, I hope you found that useful. Great thing to experiment and play around with using that blow 3. It's not a thing just to be overlooked because of you've got the draw 2. It's got a life of its own, and it can unlock some different possibilities for you. So I hope you find that useful, and Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a stonking 2016 if I don't post another video before then. Okay, thank you.